It's a pleasure to come back and delight to see you again. Thank you for coming back. Duty of care. Duty of care is a term that is mostly used. It's a phrase that is mostly used in the hospitality, the care industry. Sometimes I think it's in the medical profession as well. Basically, it should be part and parcel of human existence. Everywhere we have to deal with other human beings, duty of care should be applied. When I looked this up with ChatGPT, I'm going to read what it gave to me. As human beings, duty of care means having a responsibility to consider how our actions or failure to act may affect the safety, well-being, and rights of other people, and to take reasonable steps to avoid causing harm. The idea appears in several contexts. Everyday human responsibility, where we can apply as a basic moral level of duty of care, means treating others with respect and consideration, avoiding actions that could unnecessarily harm someone, helping when it's reasonable and safe to do so, recognizing that our choices affect other people's lives. As members of society, many people view duty of care as part of being a member of a community, which involves showing empathy, being mindful of vulnerable people, acting responsibly towards family, neighbors, friends, co-workers, strangers, generally just acting responsibly towards everyone. Balancing personal freedom with the impact our actions have on other people's lives. In simple terms, duty of care is the responsibility to act reasonably and compassionately so that you do not cause foreseeable harm to others, and when appropriate, to help protect their well-being. I want to add here that when we apply duty of care, we are able to minimize or reduce the chances of a bad situation becoming worse and to save a life or lives as the situation might demand. I'm making this video again because of the young chap, Henry Nowak, who was brutally murdered by another young man for whatever reason. But I'm not focusing on the one who took Henry's life. God rest his soul, and may God console Henry's family and console all of us, because it is really hard. He's not related to me. In the last 1 year plus, I've been made to shed tears for people who I have never met in my life over the horrific murder that have been committed in this world. I went to do this research duty of care because, of course, I know what it means, because my job, most of my life, have entailed applying duty of care. I have taken first aid classes. I have had first aid badges. I have had to be a first aider in situations for over many years. But thankfully, I have never had to actually deal with a situation where I had to act as a first aider. I'm saying thankfully because I have OCD. The one that gets me the most is having to do the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The chest compressions I can manage with, but the mouth-to-mouth is a no-no for me. Anyways, but I have never done it. Now I'm no longer a first aider, but I can still help someone who is in need. When the police men and women arrived at the scene, where the one who had been hurt, stabbed several times, laid with life gushing out of him. This was after many minutes. What did they do? They attended to the people standing about, ignored the person on the floor. When I took my first aid classes, every time we did it, we did first aid trainings. The suggestion is when you get to a place with someone lying on the floor, on the ground, it doesn't matter whether you suspect anything. The first thing you check is, are they breathing? Are they conscious? Can they respond? If they've been hurt, you make them comfortable. Duty of care. There is a duty of care, unspoken, unwritten code for the human existence. For all of us as human beings. Sorry, I think about the young people in my life whenever I think about this young man, because that could easily have been any of them. The police, even if you're taking a criminal in, the first thing you need to do, duty of care as a human being, that code as a human being, to check. Are they breathing? Are they responsive? Can they hear me? Can I make them more comfortable? None of that was done for poor Henry. Rather, we saw all the things that happened. Dragged on the floor, on the gravel, twisted arms to uncuff him. The people who committed that crime stood around him, looking well, alive, active, chattering. But the person they said had done something to them was on the floor, was on the ground. Life going. Duty of care is upon all of us. I do hope that every single one of those people, police people who was there, every one of them face the full brunt of the law because they committed a crime. That young man may still be alive today. I just wanted to let us know that there is an unwritten and unspoken code of human conduct. The first thing we need to do, compassion, mercy, kindness, gentleness, love. When we encounter situations, let these things flow through us, even if it's to our vilest enemies. Of course, we shouldn't even have enemies as human beings. But duty of care is very important. Remember, it is that first action you take, you choose to implement, to apply when you find yourself in a situation where you can actually save a person's life. Use it. Use it, my friend, because you might just save a life. And don't be like those people who came and were more interested in verbal racial slur that may or may not have even occurred. Who knows? One day we will find out. May God help us. May God help us to apply the love of Christ, the compassion, the love, the mercy, the grace that God has extended towards us. Let's apply them towards other people. I'll see you again soon.